Don't worry, everything will be fine. It doesn't matter what your major is, as long as you do what you love. Grades won't matter later in your life. No one will care. What matters is that you learn something. I have complete faith in you. You have been given many gifts. What are you thinking? What are you doing? You're very privileged. You'd have to go out of your way to become a complete failure. I have complete faith in you. You've been given many gifts. Don't be afraid to be honest about who you are. You don't have to be so fucking cool all the time. Okay, I hear you. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be who you are. If you're perfect, God is going to get mad at you. Okay, I hear you. I'm sorry if you feel like I'm treating you like a child, but sometimes you behave like a child. All I can say is, you know, you don't have to be perfect, but you can't be an idiot. You know, you don't want to have your dream job before you get to be 30. Your 20s should be all about like finding someone to fall in love with and going off somewhere. You know, the day after I graduated from college, I got in a Volkswagen bus, you know, the one with the flowers all over it, and I met my husband who I've been with for the last 40 years. You know, if I hadn't gotten on that Volkswagen bus, and had gotten a great job, I would have a great job and I'd be miserable. Instead, I have a great job and I'm happy. I think. Yes, I am. Look, the pass-fail deadline passed last month. You know, there's no way that I'm going to approve a late pass-fail. This is all about you being totally messed up about grades, you know? So get a bad grade once. And it's character building. You know, I have an F on my transcript, and I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It kind of, you know, made everything else like unimportant. You know what I mean? I got the F. It was over with. I failed. Okay, I got up. And you know what? Nobody's ever seen that transcript. So what do I care? Get an F once in a while. It'll be good for you. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. This must be really hard for you. You know, I mean, losing a grandparent and being away at school and not knowing, you know, if you should go home or what you should do. I'm really sorry, honey. Don't worry. I'll talk to your professors and we'll try to get them to give you an incomplete or something. I'm sorry, honey. That is really sad. You know, you're not going to love all your professors. I'm sure you feel like this person has it in for you and, you know, is giving you a hard time for no good reason. But I kind of think that maybe there's something to be learned from everyone, including the professors that you despise, you know? I mean, maybe you're not hearing what they might be saying, and maybe you need to hear some of the bad things that you don't feel that comfortable hearing about your work, or about, you know, how you're not contributing in class, or, you know, give some credit for the people who you don't like. You know, maybe they don't like you. So let me see if I understand why you want to have a double major. I mean, do you just want to have a double major so that you can put something on your transcript and or on your resume, or do you really want to have a double major? I mean, it's kind of like being married to two people. I mean, especially in senior year. You're going to be in senior studio and be completing a second major. You're going to have less time in the studio, and what is that going to accomplish? I mean, sure, if you want to have a double major because you're equally fascinated by anthropology and art, that's something. But if you just want to like have some kind of star on your medal on your lapel that says, "Hey, I was a double major," I mean, who cares? Nobody's going to care. So you don't have to please your parents here, you know? It's not going to make you look any better or get you a better job. The thing that's going to get you a better job is if you really love what you do. You know, being a senior is really hard because all of a sudden you're realizing that, the 4 years that you've spent here are coming to a close and you haven't really figured out who you are and what you want to do with yourself. And you dread having to go back home because you can't afford to, keep an apartment in a studio, and how are you going to survive? And you just take a break, graduate and pack an overnight bag and get on a Greyhound bus or get together with a couple of friends and go across country and have an adventure. You're going to work for the rest of your life. And once you do that, you're never going to have perhaps an opportunity to just go out and have an adventure. A lot of young artists think that there's some kind of information that nobody's giving them about how to become a successful artist, that there's some kind of not magic, but some kind of right way to approach doing this. And everybody is different. I mean, there's so many different art levels of the art world, and you have to decide where you want to be, where you feel comfortable being, who you are, what kinds of environments you want to be in. And if you want to be in a city and you're a city person, that's great. If you want to be more rural, look at Lee Bonteque. I mean, she was up there in the woods for, 20 years and did her work, and she became successful as an old lady. Who knows when your time is going to be right? You have to follow your own path. It's a good idea to maintain as many friendships as you can that you've made in college, and keep in touch with your professors and let them know what you're doing, and periodically get your work out there for people to see. But there's no right way to do it. And if you shouldn't live in Bushwick, then don't live in Bushwick. If you should live in Bushwick, live in Bushwick, and start your own gallery. Get together with friends and make your art world. Don't, if the doors aren't opening, then you provide the doors, basically. But there's no one way to do this. There's no secret lore about how to become a successful artist. You really just have to figure out how to do the work, and figure out if you really love doing the work, because you can't be an artist if you don't like doing this. It's a really hard job. And if you derive no pleasure from it, then you've got to look for something else.